Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 48 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
And I'm Weston Pugh, and we've got a great show today. We've got some really good architect homes that we really think you're going to like. So we're going to jump right into that today.
Okay.
So the first one that we've got is going to be 3615 Gillespie, number A.
Yes, and this is a really great little 8-unit condominium complex that is in Mansion Park. The location on this one just can't be beat.
Nope.
You have everything right there at the footsteps. Whether you want to walk down to the 7-Eleven and get a Slurpee or go over to the mansion on Turtle Creek and have dinner, it is all right there around you.
And this is one of those ones that whether you're taking Maple and heading into Uptown and Downtown or going down to the AA, this is just a great centralized location, as Jeff was saying. Access to Katy Trail is really nice, and you're in a small enough neighborhood that you don't feel like you're in Uptown or that you're up against some of the stuff in Oak Lawn. So it has a really nice tucked in feel. And you'll find out that there's a lot of people who have known about this for years and years. And so they've lived there, and it's really becoming quite popular these days.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying with both developers that are beginning to see more new construction and with some of the flips that are coming on.
Yeah, and there's a lot of I'm going to call it older product over there because this one is built in 1958 and being designed by the architect was Bud Oglesby, and having that kind of history, this one's really stood the test of time in being able to keep up with everybody else in the neighborhood.
So this is one of those ones that they've done a great job, and I think that we see so many people now construction, and they want it to look like this with the small private courtyard and the way that you have the center walkway. This one is really indoor-outdoor, which is a really common thing that we see in a lot of mid-century modern design, where the brick flows from the inside to the outside, and you see that wall. From here, there's an actual courtyard just on the other side of the wall. So you have both a front gate door, and then you actually have a front door to the house, adding like layers of security.
Yeah, and the complex itself is a nice mixture of textures. You've got the brick, and as you were talking about, you've got the courtyard, the private courtyard right there. That you've got these really big windows that look out on it, and you've got the concrete finished floors that give it kind of an earthy tone or just kind of an earthy feel inside. But the amenities in this one, I mean, this one's been done really well.
Yep. So the floor plan lays out so that you have floating stairs, as you can see there, and then the kitchen actually has a door that actually opens up to what would be the drive. So if you wanted to stop and drop off groceries, laundry, whatever you had, it's a great way to bring that in. Kitchen's done really well. Really nice high-end appliances. I believe they were Viking and Thermador. Then you also have stainless steel, I believe, backsplash and solid wood countertops as well. Really a nice finish out because of the open floor plan. You really want it to have this nice, more finished furniture piece.
Yeah, and this was we actually sold this home in 2007, and it was redone by some really good friends of ours to its current condition. And they took a lot of time and a lot of effort, a lot of planning going into this to really retain the warmth of the design, but to also bring it kind of up to modern standards in terms of what people are looking for when they're wanting to have that small place to live, but they still want to have a nice kitchen.
Yep. And the other thing that they've done, and I don't know if we have a picture of it this way, but there is the off of the little dining area, there is a wall, and that wall is actually set up as a closet. So there's additional storage, but it doesn't have that definite giveaway that it's storage behind it because the doors actually disappear into the wall. When you go upstairs, you've got 2 rooms. They're almost equal size, so it's really up to you which one you decide you want to be the master. And had this come on the market last week, we would have loved to have featured it because we were able to discover that the 1 bedroom has a Murphy bed that's tucked into it. This is the primary bedroom, I believe, and that is the washer and dryer, and then you have a closet and a brick wall in there.
Yep, and the double sliding doors that open up, which make this seem really just really wide and open.
Absolutely. Kitchen, or the bathroom has also been redone quite well. And so there's not much to do in this place. Again, this would be one of those ones that we would consider really close to turnkey.
And this is priced at $395,000, which is about $346 a square foot. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 1 assigned parking space in the back, lots of street parking there. And we want to say thank you to Charles Gregory for letting us talk about his listing today.
Great listing. So now we're going to swing over. We're going to stay in Uptown area, and we're going to swing over to 3328 Miro Place. And this is a great unit. So Miro Place actually fronts the road, and then it has its own kind of like private street that as you enter, and this is one of those ones on the inside. It's also on the inside, and it's an end unit. So it has a lot of extra inside of the location of the complex.
Yeah, and being right there in Knox Park, again, you've got footsteps to everything. It is definitely a scooter neighborhood with, probably walk half a block and find a bird scooter somewhere and just take off on it.
So that's going to be my new catchphrase. This is a scooter neighborhood. That is a great way to describe this. So as a scooter neighborhood, you're able to get to the Beverly. You can actually get to, there's a little dog park right there on Elizabeth that's just down the road, and travel into West Village, and you've got everything from Mi Casina, Taco Diner, and all the little stores in between.
Yeah, lots of shopping, there's really great shopping in West Village with, as you said, lots of small boutique type stores, but you also have the Banana Republic in there. You've got a Gap store. There's a Untucked. I mean, it's just a really big variety of shopping within minutes.
And this is one of those locations, so if you're not from Dallas and you're looking to relocate, this is where a lot of people come to when they're first trying to figure out where to go from Dallas. So this is a great jumping off point. This home is one of the larger ones that we've seen in the Miro Place, and I believe this is a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage. And what we really liked about this one is, if you can hold this picture for a split second, that tree right there is an excellent frame, is excellently framed by that large window. And the window that's below that is actually almost grade level and is one of the other bedrooms. And they make a really interesting combination. And as we see when we go inside, that window is not disappointing when you get inside. It really adds a great effect to that front living room.
It really does. And this was designed by architect Ron Womack, who is another very prominent architect that has really kind of made his name in the Dallas architecture world with his modern design.
Yep. And the way that he's set this together, you can see how it has inspired so many homes that we see today, with the way that it cascades the living room up to the second floor. It actually has a little bit wider of a living room, so you're able to have kind of an entry as well. And then it transitions so effortlessly from living room, dining room, and into the kitchen. So it's really one of the hallmarks that we see over and over again. And this is probably what we would say is one of the original founders of that look.
Absolutely. And I think it comes back to how wide these units are. And as you mentioned earlier, this one's on the end, so you pick up a lot of that really great extra light that comes in what would be the east side of the building there. The kitchen is very well done. These are painted cabinets with the quartz countertop on them. Really cool hexagonal backsplash that just kind of wraps everything up in the kitchen and kind of pulls it all together.
It does. It does a great job. And one of the things that you're not going to find in so many of the today's designs is a double set of staircases. So this has the front staircase that takes you upstairs and it lands on a landing. But then there's also a staircase that was in that last photograph that actually goes up into the master bedroom. So you have 2 different ways to get upstairs. When you go upstairs, you actually enter into the loft. And the loft is a really great area. One of the windows is symmetrically placed between bookcases, has seating, and they've arranged it as the TV watching area.
Yeah, that whole 3rd level is really kind of the master suite retreat, and the master bedroom itself is really a great size. This is, I think, one of the seating areas.
That's
still
off the
on
dining
Oh,
area.
this is off the dining room. Yeah, on the first floor. The master bedroom is just really a great size. The master bath is really well sized on this, And you don't feel like you lose anything just because you've got this really great sized master bedroom.
Nope, and the closet was also set up with California. And then what was really great is the way they separated the bedrooms. So master's on the third floor, but it really only feels like the second. And then on the first floor, which is below the living space, that's where bedrooms 2, bedrooms 3, and the garage is. And that's all just set up that way because of the topography that they have right here.
Yeah, and it's really just kind of nestled into the land there. This is a home is priced at $735,000, which brings it in about $228 a square foot. And we want to say thank you to Betty Crawford for letting us talk about her home today.
That is a great home. So what we're going to do now is, so we've looked at 2 that are done by architects, and now we're going to switch gears and we're going to move into East Dallas. And this is one of those areas that is really coming up. Some people call it East Village. This may be a little bit of a stretch because it's a little further out, but it's 5811 Lindale Avenue, Unit 101. This was one of the ones that not only was it a great layout, but I think that the homeowner has maximized the design elements of this house.
Yeah, absolutely. The location on this is just right off of Swiss Avenue, Live Oak. You got great access into downtown through Ross Avenue. You've got really great access out toward Lakewood and even on over toward White Rock Lake. The Santa Fe Trail is really not very far south of you right there, so you're able to go down and pick that up and take a quick ride out to White Rock, 9 miles around White Rock, and be back. So,
yep. And the great thing too about this is that if you needed to get into downtown and traffic was backed up through the neighborhoods, you could jump on 30 and be all the way. That'll also get you to 35, quick to the toll road, get you into Arlington and Fort Worth as well. So this is, even though it is on the east side of downtown, it's still not just terrible to get in and out of.
No, really not. There's 5 units in each of these buildings, so it's a 10-unit complex, which means it's really small. You don't have a lot of other owners that you have to deal with. And this is an end unit that's on the front that, again, brings more natural light into the unit than some of the interior units are going to have. You enter into this one, you go straight up this, well, you've got the 2-car garage and then go straight up the staircase to the living area. And I really thought that this one, we see so many of these homes that when you come up the stairs, you come out and there's the living room, the kitchen, and the dining area. This one was really, I think, well done because it's arranged a little bit differently than what we see normally. And it all just kind of flows like one really large open room. And then you've still got your half bath that's kind of tucked away over in the corner. And it's really a great unit.
It's a great conversational or entertainment room because no one's far enough away in any portion that you would not be able to have a conversation. If you had, 6 or 8 people over for dinner or cocktails before going out, it would work 100%. The fixtures and appliances are really high end. We do like the fact that was a black matte finished pendant lights with a nice brass on the inside. It added a really great touch. One of the other things too that you'll see here is that they have done black wood blinds. And I don't think I've ever seen black wood blinds done before, but because the rest of the unit is so light and bright, and it is an end unit, that it's actually dramatic.
Yeah.
And it has a really nice design feel to it without feeling deep and too dark in there. We like the fact too that these had painted rise over run stairs, so no carpet.
Yeah, and when you go up to the 3rd floor on this is where your 2 bedrooms are. You have a really nice sized master bedroom that flows into the master bathroom up there, you can see here he's got a really large bed in this room. There's still room for those probably 36-inch nightstands on each side of it.
Yep. And one of the things too that this homeowner has done, and they really understand its scale, is that in some of the smaller areas like the bathrooms, the powder bath, and also in the closet, they've gone and went with a deeper color. And so it has a much more dramatic, sophisticated, a very styled feel to it, but not so much that it felt processed or tacky.
Right.
It was a wonderful job that they have done. Again, what we're seeing is somebody who has a clear vision, is executed from front door all the way to the back.
Yeah, even into the closets on this, they have really done, the California closet type setup in each of them, and really done it very well, where it maximizes the use for the shoes and the belts and the hanging clothes and really everything.
One of the last things that we'll mention is that off of the garage there is a private covered patio. So whether they've set it up for actual seating and dining, and then also just have minimal landscaping in this. So there's the Japanese yew, super clean. But this is a great place too if you had a pet and you didn't want to have to take them out at 10 o'clock for that final walk, or you didn't want to do the 7 a.m. and run around. This is a great way for you to actually have that spot.
Yep, and this home is priced at $419,000. That brings it in about $283 a square foot. And, you know, for newer construction in East Dallas in this neighborhood, great value. And we want to say thank you to Kevin Biddick for letting us talk about his home.
So now we're going to scoot over to one of the areas that I sold my very first home to, and that was to John David McFerrin. And I do believe today is John David McFerrin's birthday. If it's not, it's really close. So happy birthday, John McDavid. This is 2628 Andrea, and this was a surprise.
Yeah.
We turned down this street, and I was like, why haven't we been here before? It was amazing. And you did a little research on the neighborhood and you found out some really interesting information about it.
Yeah, many of the homes in this neighborhood were designed by Cliff May, who is a California designer, and he's considered to be the father of the California ranch.
Yep. And these homes, the minute we pulled onto the street, you could tell that they have been found because they have all really begun to like have that process of the updating. And the interesting thing is they're not bulldozing. These houses are standing the test of time because of the design element that they have, and they're getting that second life that so many homes don't get, and they're amazing.
It's funny that this is, you know, everything kind of comes around and this the design style of this has really come back into the forefront of what people are looking for. And being in a small neighborhood like this that is kind of off the beaten path of, like, it still is just a great little community that, you know, is going to draw people in.
And if you hold that picture for just a split second, we're seeing this is like an L shape. And when we drove this neighborhood, there are so many people who have taken and just off the garage extended breezeway bricks or another type of bricking material and came into the yard and then down towards the front door. And what it does is it has created this front private courtyard, and they're amazing, and they're so within the design scheme of what's happening in that era that they really are nailing it right now.
Yeah, they really are, and it's really kind of taking advantage of some of the Cliff May design.
Yeah, what he
points,
intended,
because, you know, it was part of his intention was to have the big wide open windows that kind of double the living space from the indoors to the outdoors.
So this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath with a 2-car garage, and you'll see here that when you walk in, the house has the A-pitch, and it has that center beam that is really popular. To the left of it, you can just barely make out the dining room table right there, and it transitions nicely into a renovated kitchen. And then on the right-hand side is the living area that actually looks over the backyard. So it all kind of works together in this space.
Yeah, original hardwood floors. You can see the stone fire or the brick fireplace right there. The you know, many of the pieces of that people are looking for in the mid-century modern homes you find in these.
So many times when they do that pitch, you think that you're going to lose that look in the top, but they've actually gone ahead and added the windows. And in certain places, you'll see these triangular windows. They are prevalent at the front door, some of the back.
Master bedroom.
Yep. And so what they've also done is the backyard is actually accessible from both the living room and from the master. And they've done a great job of maximizing the flagstone, using the current trees that are there, and creating an outdoor living space that has a fire feature and those really nice restaurant-like hanging lights from the trees.
Yeah, great outdoor living space like you were just mentioning, and these people have really kind of maximized that and taken advantage of it. You know, good privacy in the backyard with fence, and lots of shade trees over there. That was something kind of stood out to me.
So this is one of those neighborhoods that if you're into like this type of architecture, this type of style, and this size of home, the great thing is that you're going to be surrounded by people that love and appreciate that the same way. And so when it comes in at 1464 square feet, it's 3 bedrooms, 2-bath, 2-car garage, built in 1955, so it is that mid-century modern ranch. Comes in at $295, which is a rarity that we find something in this condition and this design element for mid-century under 3. That is $201.50 a square foot. And we want to say thank you so much to Susan Wheeler. Again, you have been great for letting us highlight one of your homes.
Thank you.
Yep. So that was a mouthful.
That
We got
was
through that.
Yep. So, in our second segment today, we have we've just had a lot of our clients who have started talking about investing in real estate. And so one of the things that we wanted to come to you with today was, how do you get prepared for that? And there are some steps that you need to go through, some thoughts you need to have, and just kind of figure out where you're really going to fit when it comes to investing in real estate.
Yep. And so what we try to do is just kind of boil down some of the essence of what it is. I think that you and I were both talking about we could take every single topic point that we have here and turn it into an entire segment. But what we wanted to do was kind of pull back and do a 30,000 foot overview and kind of help you to begin and give you that opportunity to begin thinking about it and get ready to start or continue your real estate portfolio.
Yeah. A lot of people that may have purchased a condo or a townhome when they first started buying housing decided to hold on to that when they moved into their next home. And so, but there are a lot of people out there that didn't do that, and now they're ready to.
Right. And so the first thing that we always want to do is kind of create budgets. Jeff and I are always feel like that's such a strong foundation to set down, and knowing where you can go financially really kind of alleviates a lot of anxiety that can come with some of these processes. And so one of the first things that we want to talk about is, what are your financing options and getting in front of a lender.
Yeah, and there are a lot of options available for investors still. There are conventional loans that that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac both back up that give you, still good mortgage rates. You have options of also going to your local bank. There are banks that will do kind of outside the box lending for investors as long as they're putting enough down.
Yep. And one of the things too, when you visit with the lender, is to really begin to start working on what you foresee your outgoing expenses are. So having a clearer idea of what your taxes are, having a really strong idea of what your insurance is going to run. And we've done an entire episode on renovation and renovation budgets, and it is key, and it's one of those things that, having chewed through some of this, will allow you to make a decision when that property hits the market.
Yep.
So it is our first, that's why we started with it, as our very first one.
Yeah. And moving on to our second point, are you going to be buying something that is something you're going to be turning relatively quickly, or is it something that you're going to hold long term?
Yep. And so this is there's two different schools of thoughts. One of them, somebody wants to hold it for a long period of time. They don't care if they have a mortgage on it. Another person is really quick. They want to invest. They want to get in. They want to get out. And both are great, but they have a lot of differences in them. And the biggest thing is when you start evaluating your time cost of money. I think that carrying costs are one of those ones that you really want to be concerned with when you're doing the flipping versus when you're holding for a rental income. It's not as prevalent.
Yeah, and they really do have two different approaches to them whenever you're kind of evaluating a property, because there are some properties that you buy in neighborhoods that, that it might still be kind of not such a great neighborhood. And so that is one that it might make sense for you to do a little renovation on, hold for whatever period of time it is for that neighborhood to catch up with you, then do another, real renovation on it and sell it after the neighborhood's kind of caught up with you.
And it is a combination. And so one of the things that we wanted to do is also reference one of our back episodes, episode 21, where we actually go into the renovation episode. So this is one of those ones where, if this is where you have a great handle on where your finances are and whatnot, in question, or in point 1, this would be a great way to go back and refresh for episode 21.
Yep, sure would, whether it's going to be long term or short term.
Absolutely. And then the last, or the number 3 one, is to identify what types of property are right for you. And this is really interesting, because when you visit with people who have been doing renovations for properties for years, a lot of times they will have a very specific recipe of what they're going to buy. And so this is one of the key elements, is knowing what you want in the area. So be familiar with both the area, the size of the homes that are in the area. Schools are a huge thing that make a difference over in certain areas.
And what condition are you willing to buy it in? Are you someone that really just wants to take on maybe paint and flooring, or are you someone that is willing to take on foundation work and maybe some structural changes? Because, that really is a whole different layer of property renovation.
And sometimes the person that's willing to take the bigger risk, there's a fewer pool of people that will actually get involved with that. And you might be the guy that can actually make a better deal on a piece of property like that.
Yeah, and one of the things that we have seen that it really helps people be successful in investing in real estate is stick to your plan.
It is.
I mean, once you figure out what part of this world you want to be in, learn everything you can about how, what the process is, what makes sense for you in those neighborhoods, and just keep following that recipe.
And it's interesting that this is one of those ones that we kind of want to really focus on, because you actually had an investor that you worked with from California. You showed him 10 properties and he knew exactly his recipe. And he literally could walk into it and walk out within minutes. And I think you showed him, like we like to kind of say, how many did you show? And I think you hit like 16 homes in a Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was simply for the fact that the man had a concept and he knew what his recipe was and he hit it.
Yeah.
And he was able to buy and get the renter in almost within a month of closing. So it's a huge thing.
And the last point is educate yourself on the area and educate yourself on homes.
Yep. So educating yourself as far as having your people in place, knowing the market as well. Go to as many open houses as you can. If there's something that's not an open house, we'd love to open the doors for you. I think that Jeff and I learn as much from our buyers and from our sellers as they learn from us. And so we're always happy to get in there and open these doors for you.
Yeah, and one of the things that you'll want to be aware of is, the frequency that things sell in a neighborhood. Who are if you're if you're buying something that you're going to do with a long-term hold, is the neighborhood that you're buying in going to attract the type of tenant that you're looking for?
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things to learn about when it comes to the areas and the homes.
Yep, and we've actually seen just as of recently where we had certain investors that only would buy really well flipped homes, and those homes were actually able to get really top dollar and lease out in such a short amount of time. So again, this is boiling down to really beginning doing your homework, and we talk about that over and over again, and I think that's like the overarching view is really begin to do your due diligence prior to getting into this and spending money.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the last points that we'd like to make is number 5 is begin the process of interviewing vendors and discussing timeframes. You've got to find the people to put your team together with.
Right.
And so, that means, are you going to go with a contractor style relationship with someone that does the work? Or are you going to play contractor and be the one that arranges the electrician and arranges the plumber and arranges the construction and arranges the painting? And,
Right.
I mean, there is a cost associated with that part of it. Some people, in their first project, they might hire a general contractor to do it all for them because they need to learn that process or at least see how that's done.
And one of the things to remember on your first one is that you're not going to knock a home run out on your first one, typically. So if it is one of those learning curves where you hire someone, like in episode 46, we had Steven Sardone, who came in and he talked over and over again at the end of the episode about interviewing, and knowing who you're going to get in a relationship with, because sometimes it can last for 6 months or more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is one of those times. Ask for the referrals, do the due diligence, and know who you're going to use. Have them in place. Have mock bids run up so you can get to that point where you have a well-rounded skill of information that can make these decisions when the right property comes on the market.
Yeah, one of the things you really have to be able to do is be able to move quickly when the right property comes on the market, because there are other people that are going to be moving as quickly as you are. So,
especially people who are investors. I feel like investors are not buying with their heart, and they're not buying to put their family into it, and they can make a decision like lightning, and it's one of their strong suits.
If it fits their mold and it fits their recipe, then they're usually moving quickly to get it under contract. So.
Yep, they are.
So that's our second segment for today, that's talking about investing in real estate. I hope that you picked a couple of pieces of information up from that. And if you have any questions about the process, getting started in it, we would love to talk to you about it and love to help you get started being that real estate investor.
Yep, sure would. Well, thanks so much. That was the time that we had today.
Yep. Thank you for tuning in. We really do appreciate you spending time with us. Join us on our Facebook page. The show is always posted out there. We'd love to have some comments during the show if you're watching. Also, visit our Instagram account. We try to keep pictures of the houses that we're representing up there and other information that you'll probably find helpful. UpdikePugh.com is our website. There's lots of detailed information there. You can get market reports. You can get searches set up to send you properties every day. And last of all, homeprice.fyi. If you've got a piece of property that you want to get a value on, just put the address in, give us a couple other pieces of info, and you'll instantly have a value. Last of all, reach out to us in the traditional ways. Our phone number is 214-377-2223. We'd love to hear from you.
And remember, we want to be your realtors for life.